Thank you for using EmagineNET QuickCheck. In this video, you will learn how to process a check through different scenarios. We will begin by processing a check for a new company and a new customer. When you process a check, there is a set of questions you need to ask the customer to understand the risk involved when cashing the check. Remember that at the end of the process, you will take the decision. And EmagineNET QuickCheck will make sure to give you the right set of tools to make it easier. Let's start by scanning the check given by the customer. If you have an Excel STX check reader, you can scan the check by either pressing F5 on your keyboard or simply clicking the green button on the top labeled as Get Company Number from Check Reader. Once you take this action, you will notice a light flashing on and off on the left-hand side of the check reader. This is indicating you that the check reader device is ready to take the check. Make sure you place it in a way where the check is straight and with the front of the check facing in. Once the check is scanned, you will notice a routing number and account number on the top. These numbers are picked up by the sensors in the check reader device, and because of the magnetic ink present on the check. Remember, as a helpful tip, if you run the check more than once because no numbers are picked up, be careful. This could mean the check is fraud, because the check was possibly printed at home, and therefore no magnetic ink is present on the check. Once you verify the numbers on the top, you can continue to the next step by clicking the green button, Search for Company with this number. This is where the interaction begins with your customer. Make sure you ask the right questions. This will help you understand the intention of the customer when cashing this check. The first thing you need to ask the customer is, have you cashed a check here before? The reason you want to ask this question is to understand if the customer has a reason to lie. Our theory is that a good customer has no reason to lie. A bad one does. But in spite of their answer, just keep the response in the back of your mind. And let's move on to the registration process. Their response is an additional tool to help you make the decision at the end of this transaction. Now, let's start by verifying the different aspects of the company. EmagineNET QuickCheck focuses on the company first, because at the end of the day, the money that you will receive for cashing this check comes from the maker, also known as the company. Let's start with step number 1, verifying the banking information. Only EmagineNET QuickCheck can retrieve information directly from the bank. We will verify two aspects of the banking. Number 1, where is the check coming from? The routing number verification is a tool we provide, which we make it available to you in seconds, to retrieve the name of the bank. This will give you the opportunity to verify the name of the bank in QuickCheck versus the name of the bank on the check. Hint: no bank shares the same routing number, so make sure the name of the bank matches. In addition, you will have the opportunity to verify the account status. EmagineNET QuickCheck can instantly connect with banks and verify if the account is open, valid, and with a positive balance. Do note that because of banking policies, we cannot verify the exact funds, but you can find out if the account is open, valid, and with a positive balance. If the account has this status, you can consider the account as low risk. We can also provide high-risk status, such as a fraud account, invalid account, frozen account, insufficient fund account, and other statuses provided by the banks. Now that you know in this particular case the account is on low risk, you can once again come back to the customer and ask him one more question. Can I have your work number? The reason you need them to respond, rather than getting this number from the check, is to once again put them to the test and understand the real intention of cashing this check. Remember, no customer has an idea of whether you have a check cashing system to verify this information. So when the customer is a fraudster, the easiest step for him to take is to give a phone number of his friend, who happens to be sitting outside the parking lot, waiting for you to call. And if this is the case, when you call, they would answer, "Thank you for calling ABC Construction. How can I help you?" What just happened is the fraudster's friends are aware of your call. They will simulate a company and give you false information so you can cash the check. if you were to cash this check outside EmagineNET QuickCheck, you just got a fraud check. But with QuickCheck, that tactic coming from the fraudster is simply useless. With EmagineNET QuickCheck, you will enter the phone number provided by the customer. If this phone number is a cell phone number, you will immediately see this through QuickCheck. If your customer is bringing you a check, in this case from ABC Construction, does it make sense that ABC Construction has a cell phone number listed as their locations number? Now, let's assume the customer was giving you the right number. You will notice QuickCheck will find the persons or company associated with this number. And you can instantly verify if these records match, then the information of the maker of the check is correct. Now that you know you have a legit number and QuickCheck has verified this for you, it's time to call the company and find out if this person works at ABC Construction, or if they stole the checks. Once employment has been verified, you can move on to step number 3. In this step, you will verify one more layer for the company, analyzing their activity. EmagineNET QuickCheck has over 1.5 million companies and customers registered all across our network. We are considered one of the largest independent check cashing networks in the country. In this case, you can verify how many checks has the company cashed in our network. How many were from the last 7 days, how many were reported as insufficient fund or fraud, and if any of these bad checks were paid back. This will give you a better perspective of the company and the customer. Once you realize everything seems okay, on the company side, you can click the Add Company button to scan a color image of the check for future reference. Now you can move on to customer registration.